Hey everyone, I wanted to go ahead and do a Nintendo Switch 2 unboxing. This is the second one I picked up. I picked up one in July and then wanted to get another one here recently. And I actually picked this up yesterday, but I wanted to film myself opening it and, just share that on the channel. So we'll dig right in. All right, so my plan is to pick up a couple more Nintendo Switch 2s. I want to get two more, I think. One for both of my kids, one for my wife, and then I've got my own. So we'll go ahead and start unboxing it. All right, see that okay? Got the screen here. And actually picked up a screen protector, so I'll end up putting that on there as well. Actually, let me put this back in there until I get the screen protector. That way a bunch of stuff doesn't get on it beforehand. So we'll get the rest of it out, and then we'll put on the screen protector as well. Got the Joy-Cons here. Feel nice and new and crisp. I do like the colors. I wish they had a couple of variations for the Nintendo Switch 2. I like the white OLED a lot, so having a white Switch 2 would have been awesome. Got both the Joy-Cons there. Let's see here. It's probably just documentation in there. I may open it, see. Got the little grip here for the Joy-Cons. And that seems to work pretty well. I hardly ever use these. I barely used it for the Switch 1. I barely use it for the Switch 2. My kids use it a lot, though. Snapped on there really easily. You can kind of see the... trying to get on the camera here. You can kind of see the colors through the cracks. I know recently Nintendo dropped the news that they're going to have the new color Joy-Cons, purple, and I forget what the second color is, like kind of like a greenish, like a mint color, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. Well, here we got the dock. Put the box down. Yeah, sorry about my soundboard being there. I don't have space on my desk to make all this work super well currently. All right, there's the console itself. We'll take the Joy-Cons off. And you can see the colors. So apparently I had it upside down. Colors match, right? Joy-Con color. So you can see the blue there. Snaps on perfectly. Slips in there nicely. Very good. Yeah, so when I picked up the first Nintendo Switch 2 console that I got, I also got the Switch 2 Pro controller, which is a controller I use most of the time. I can show that off here. So that's this. And I really like the Switch 2 Pro controller Got the clicky buttons back here that you can reprogram. Yeah, it feels very good. Moves really well. I know Nintendo put their own kind of Joy-Con technologies in there. A lot of rumors were saying it was going to be Hall effects lenses, but they went with their own technology. And probably a lot of people who are like pretty serious gamers know this. But you can continue to use your Switch 1 Pro controller. Well, my kids use this when we play Mario Kart. Because Mario Kart World, we have the Joy-Cons. I've got the Switch 2 Pro controller, which I use. And we actually use the white Joy-Cons from the OLED Switch as well. That way we have, 4 controllers for all 4 of us to play. But now we got the new Switch 2, so we can also use these second pair of Joy-Cons. And then it comes with, the power charging block and the USB-C cord to plug in to hook it all up to the wall, keep it charged. And that's pretty much it. I mean, this is a big difference. I guess I can do a little quick comparison there because my OLED Switch is very close to me. So I'll pull that over for a second. Let me move the stuff a bit to the side. Just gonna get out of the shot. And this is my headphone cord. Let me grab that OLED. All right, so here's the Switch 2. There's a Switch OLED. You can see the size difference for sure. I mean, just lining it up on the sides here. It's like 1.5 inches or something on the side. And then I have a Switch Lite very close at hand as well. So you can just see the size differences between these. It's pretty impressive what Nintendo has been able to do over the course of the Switch and now the Switch 2 generation. The Switch OLED, obviously the best version of the Switch 1, in my opinion. And I like the white. You can't even buy the white Joy-Cons. Like, you have to get it as the OLED. And then the turquoise Switch Lite was the first one that we picked up with Link's Awakening back when it launched. All right, so we've got the system turned on. I went ahead and did this part off the video. Just got logged into the internet and got connected here. So I've got the Hori screen protector, right? Just good to have a screen protector when you have an expensive system. Don't want scratches on the screen. Then I bought a SanDisk Micro SD Express card. You have to have the Express card for the Switch 2. If you don't have this, it won't work. So we'll try to do this. I'm historically pretty bad at putting on screen protectors without having like the air bubbles, but we'll do our best. And then we'll kind of go through the UI a bit. All right, let's see here. So I'm the kind of guy that reads instructions. That's good. That way you don't mess it up the first time. If there are any. Here we go. This is a weird, like, seemingly backward piece of paper. But here we go. All right, so if I'm looking at this correctly, I think this first one pulls off. Does that seem right? Okay, so I think it's on this side. one. All right, so let's see about this. We'll try to do one half and then do the other half. Let's see if that works well enough. See if we can use this little thing here. All right, and then we'll slowly pull away this back one. Seems like an interesting piece of glass screen protector. I think it's different from the one I used on the first Switch 2 we have. I don't remember which one we got there. That's all right. This one, I just picked it up at Best Buy. I think it's on there like fairly well. And this bit comes off. Yeah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. See if I can get this little air bubble out. Yeah, seems okay. Is that stuff under there? I hope not. Might be. Well, I can look at that after the video. All right, so we got that. And then we'll put in the micro SD card here. I guess maybe just a good rule of thumb is to clear off stuff as we're moving through here. So I will put this stuff over to the side. And I will deal with that later on. All right. I'll probably just rip this however I please. I don't see like a straightforward way to open it. So we'll just kind of dig in through the bottom first. Well, that is... Okay, got it. All right. So this is a 512 gigabyte device. I'm gonna reach around behind me and grab a little box cutter. I can reach from here. I cannot. Give me one moment. All right. Milwaukee, not sponsored. But this is a nice little tool. I use it quite a bit. All right, here's the memory card. And it will go underneath the kickstand. So you can see the space right here. It's not really focusing super well. Sorry about that. But there's a slot there. We got a little beanbag wrist rest. So we'll put the switch on there. Let's open this up and we'll get it put in there. It's very tiny, as one would expect. All right, got it put in there. And yeah, maybe if I get like super close, yeah, you can see that. So it says micro SD Express on the back there. And it's saying to do an update because we put that in there. Update the system, do a restart. And it's already done one restart, if I'm not mistaken, and now it's doing the second one here. And the Switch 2 comes, charged to a degree. I think it was like maybe around 79% or something. But just to kind of be mindful of that, right? It's never really good for a device to to shut off while you're restarting it. So, if you notice it's pretty low, a good rule of thumb is to plug it up while you're doing all of this. Here we go. Move this little armrest. And then we can just kind of look through the UI here for a second. See if I can zoom in a bit. All right, so we got Nintendo Switch Online, Game Chat. Currently, for the first year of the Switch 2's launch, Game Chat is a free feature to try. And that may just be like with Nintendo Switch Online, but it may be in general. I'd have to double check that. But then moving forward, there is a charge that will occur. And that's what the C button is here. And then there's also a C Game Chat button on the Switch 2 Pro controller. Then you got your news, and then Nintendo eShop, album. Album is if you've taken pictures on the Switch, like in-game pictures and that kind of thing. They'll show up there. Game Share. I've not really used Game Share yet on my first Switch 2. But that's a feature that Nintendo has where if you have a new game and that game has the ability to be shared with another Switch device, you can do it through Game Share. And then just one person would have to have the cartridge or the digital game, and then the other person wouldn't need to have it. So I know it works with like Split Fiction and It Takes Two, those kind of games. Then you have your standard controllers item there where you can set up which controllers are connected to the device. Then you have your virtual game cards. This is new. And when the Switch 2 launched, they also updated the Switch 1 consoles with this as well. So if you have any digital games, they just show up as the virtual game cards now, and you re-download them through this. Now, if you have a Nintendo Switch Online family plan, then you can share your digital games with your family members. And I was trying to do this yesterday with my son's Switch Lite. He was wanting to play Clubhouse or 51 Clubhouse Classic games. I may have gotten that name jumbled up, but I was trying to set that up and ran into some issues where his Switch Lite wasn't registered as his primary console. So it wouldn't let me do the virtual game card sharing. So I had to get on the Nintendo support site and find a website where I could change his registration for his Switch. That took forever, but I got it figured out. So if you run into that, there is some documentation out there. Also, some other sites have things as well. I think IGN had something. Then you have your system settings, which is standard, right? Data, Bluetooth, health, all that. Not health, but like support health and safety. You have your Bluetooth audio. So like if you want to put a headset attached to your Switch or some earbuds, you can do that. Data management is going to be useful, right? You'll have your internal storage, your micro SD express storage. And then you can manage your save data cloud and all of that. Users, Great Wall. That's my account on here. So feel free to send me a friend request. And then, yeah. Then you have your sleep mode. So you can put your console in the sleep mode from there. Let's add a game on here. And then I'll pull that up and just kind of show that off. So let me get a cartridge, and then we can load a game up. I just got this off of Amazon, just a way to put Switch cartridges in there. It's pretty cheap, but I've got a few of them, so I like them pretty well. So I'm loading in Metroid Prime 4. I need to continue playing this game. I've been playing it on stream, so we'll download that, and then I'll pull it up on the video, and we can see how it looks in handheld mode on my camera. So we'll let that download, and we can see how long it takes for it to download as well. My experience with downloading games on the Switch too is it's been pretty fast. So maybe this won't be as long as it has been on Switch 1. But yeah, definitely liking the Switch 2 so far. I'm definitely excited for new games that will come out. Now that we're in 2026, so I'm filming this on January 17th. And pretty excited about what Nintendo may end up doing. The first Nintendo Direct, should be in February or March. Rumors are saying February. So we'll see what they have to offer, but I'm pretty excited about it. And maybe I'll do a video on my Switch collection. You can kind of see back here. I've got the one special edition of Fire Emblem Engage. So maybe I can show those things off in another video where I just talk about, kind of the games I like and what I'm currently playing and all of that. I'm streaming Metroid Prime 4, but playing some other games as well. Almost done. One more thing while that's loading, I can actually show off that I like quite a bit. I bought the Satisfy grip. Zoom back out a little bit. A little bit more. So this is the Zen 2 Satisfy grip. I'm a big fan of Satisfy. I got them for the Switch OLED and the Switch Lite. And this is like a super nice case, right? Satisfy. Feels good, looks good, like the red and black. You got some game slots here. Quite a bit. 12 of them. This is nice and soft. So if you don't have a screen protector, you're not going to mess up your system at all. And then here's the grip, right? And to my knowledge, this is the only grip that you can put on your Nintendo Switch 2 and then put it into the dock without it needing to come off. So this is almost done. We're at 98%, very close, 99%, and it's finished. So I can go ahead and do that. And we'll download my save data because we do not want to have to start over. I'll just slip this on. Nice and snug. Looks good, feels good. I wish the Joy-Cons came a little more ergonomic, but I know Nintendo has to make the system for children and for adults, right? So if they made it too big, then it would be too big for children as well, and that would be a little uncomfortable for them. So just being able to pick up a nice grip, whether it's this or I know people like the dbrand Kill Switch, grip. I wanted one where I could still just use the standard dock. And I used Satisfy in the past, so that's why I want Satisfy. Maybe I'll pick up the D brand one, or they can send it to me. That'd be cool. But look at that. You can hear it. Oh, did not mean to do that. Okay, so it's not loud enough on there to pick up. Let's see. Yeah, no, still not picking up on my system itself. Okay, now it's picking up on the mic a bit. Sounds great. Speakers are very good. The screen is amazing. I've actually not played this game in handheld since I've been streaming it. But let's just pull it up for a second and kind of see what it looks like. Got your spinning artifact there for the auto save feature. Yeah, that looks. I don't know that the camera is doing it justice, but it looks great, very smooth. I mean, you can see me holding it, moving very quickly, doing my thing. Sorry if I made anybody woozy. But yeah, there's a save station, right? Game. You can see the shooting really well. Fire shot, missile launcher. Y ball mode, morph ball. Jumping, dropping a bomb there. Yeah, so I mean it's smooth. X to scan. Yeah, I'm not going to bore you with all that, but I did just want to. There we go. Wanted to show you, docking it with the Satisfy grip. I know it's not a Satisfy video, just unboxing, but, just kind of go the extra mile, show you a little bit of some of the other things I've gotten here, right? So here's the dock. I can let me turn it backward here. So you can see that the grip comes up on the back here. Actually, I didn't show you the back of it, but you can see that it is beveled here, right? Like it's thinner here. That way it can slide into the dock without causing any issues. And this rounded bit at the top, goes in without any issues. Now, one of the things I have noticed, because I have used this, and maybe this is something that Satisfy is aware of, or maybe they're not aware of it, but when you have your USB charger plugged in for your controller on the back, it does kind of bend a little bit, right? So here's the cord, and you can see that when I plug it in here on the side, and I'll turn this so you can see it a bit better. So you can see it here. When I put the grip on, I'll just turn it so you can work this in here. The cord gets pushed down and under this holder part. So if they could figure out a way to handle that, maybe it'd be a little bit better. But that's the only thing I've noticed in putting that. So usually I'll just unplug this, or I'll actually just take off the grip in case I want to have my controller plugged in. But that is the only thing I've noticed with that. And there's not a USB port on the inside of the dock. So it's not like I can plug it in there. But now that I've got the dock here, let me just show you a few things. So there is the USB-C connector here. That's going to be for your power. You've got the HDMI port for your video. And then there's an Ethernet port. That way you can have the dock plugged into the internet. And this just slips in and down and snaps back in. So that is the full unboxing experience for the Switch 2. If you all want to see any other things or want me to demo any other things, feel free to let me know. And then maybe I can create a video for that as well. All right, thank you for watching and take care.